the others who were not able to be here. Okay, so the importance of self-discipline towards study habit. So what does it mean when you say self-discipline? Self-discipline in terms of, okay, self-discipline in what way, Kurita and the others? Okay, so time management. So the problem here is, sa atong problem ani. Okay. Mm. Okay, so I would like to ask Clint, what makes a student lose his study habit or not develop a school management system? Ano kaha ang mga estudyante walay disiplina sa studies? So what are the probable reasons? Okay, how about Coretha? Can you hear me clearly? Okay, let me try to turn off my camera. Maybe it's because I'm consuming lots of our data. Okay, let me try to pause. How about this one, Clint? Is it okay now? Can you hear me now clearly? Okay na? Okay, so let me enlarge my screen. Okay, so the importance of self-discipline towards study habit. So your problem here is about the discipline of students or the lack of discipline in studies. So the importance of self-discipline towards study habit. By the way, since you are having design thinking, when you say design thinking, it is a kind of problem solving research. So you are trying to identify a problem and solve it. Okay, but in your case, you will just be in the proposal part. You will not implement compared to the other research classes. However, although you will not be implementing this one on the next semester, but I would like to know what are your proposed solution with this identified problem. So I advise that when you're having your design thinking title, kindly indicate also your proposed solution. So it will be here in your title. Okay, later on, we will go back and revisit your title later on. So the first thing to do is to identify the problem and also the solution. Okay, so you have, what is your proposed solution, Kurita and members? Karen, Melanie, sa inyong mga proposed solutions. So this is your, yes, unsa man. Ah, okay, okay. Okay, okay. So now let's have this parts. We start with the empathy. As what we had discussed before, when you say empathy, this is the part we're going to get an initial statement from your target participants of the study. Who are your target participants here in the study? Education, BSBA, IT. Okay. So since you have not indicated, kindly specify the name of your or the level of your proposed respondents or participants of the study. So here in your empathy part, the COVID-19 pandemic has created the largest disruption in the educational system. Okay, the reason why we choose this topic is, okay, my comment here, kindly add source. So where did you get this source? When you say source, mga related literatures from studies. Example, I'm going to show you here one of my um, client's thesis because currently I'm a content writer. Yes. Yes, later on in the bibliography part. However, you're going to indicate the site you're going to cite here in your empathy and also your other parts of your paper. So I'm going to show you an example how you're going to cite your source. Okay, example this one. Okay, dali lang siya. Dali naman eh. So you're going to copy a particular statement which is relevant to your study. Okay, this one. So example this one. So I cite here the statement of Pockrell and Chetri 2021. So they stated traditional educational framework has been drastically disrupted due to COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, you're not just going to copy and paste the entire statements, but you are going to rephrase it. Because if you're not going to rephrase the statements of these researchers, you will be sued with plagiarism. So, ato nang likayan ng plagiarism. When you say plagiarism, it's copy and paste lang. So, I'm going to highlight here how I cited the researchers here. Meaning, sila akong gikuhaan sa source. I didn't just have my own opinion in my paper. So, kana siya. Example, si Pockrell and Chetri. So, the rule in citation, if you have one writer, one author, Pockrell 2021 lang. If you're going to cite the name of the author in the last. However, if you're going to cite Pockrell and Chetri, according to Pockrell Chetri, example, ito ikon ha. If you're going to cite your source, butangan mo siya example, according to Pockrell and Chetri, imo din siya i-enclose sa parentheses ang 2021 if you have stated your source in the beginning of your paper. Ano siya? I will highlight ha. Dun sa nako siya. If you're going to cite your source or the author in the first statement, enclose only the year without including the last name of the researchers. But if you want to cite the source in the last part of the paragraph, i-enclose mo siya sa open and close parentheses 2021 sa sulod. Sila tulo. The name of the author and also the year. So that's the difference between two authors cited in the first and author cited in the last. Okay, another rule, if you have three authors, example, Binayaw, Pockrell, and Chetri 2021. Pwede po ka mo gamit og Pockrell, kung tulo na sila, you can have Pockrell, et al. Din siya, comma, then et al. Okay, when you say et al, it means daghan ng authors. So according to Pockrell et al. 2021, traditional educational framework in the Philippines has been drastically disrupted due to COVID-19 pandemic. Okay. Again, another rule, if you're going to cite the author in the sa last po mo siya ibutang, you can have Pockrell, daghan man silang author, Pockrell, et al. 2021. Ano siya? Did you get my point? Okay. Do you have any question before we will proceed? Okay, none. But be careful once you cited the name of the author. I will look also for for your references in yung bibliographical entry at the last part. So kindly copy the link and also the year of publication and journal of your reference. Okay. Now let's go back to your empathy part of your paper. Okay, here. When you say empathy part, it is the part wherein you're going to introduce your problem. Maklaro ba ninyo ang presentation or is it small? Okay, enlarge pa natin. Okay, so in the empathy part, you're going to explain what is the problem all about. So here, did you indicate your lack of discipline in studies? Okay, let's try to check. The reason why we choose the topic, okay, please avoid the term we. Kaning we, bitaw we choose. Please don't use we, but use the reason why the researchers, sana na siya. So, the researchers na din na. Highlight na ako ha, so that you can edit. Okay. In research, you're not allowed to use pronouns, manggod. So, the researchers, ano, and then here in your first paragraph, the COVID-19 has created largest disruption in the education system in history. Okay, I'm looking for the source. Asa man yung source, ani? So, source. Kindly indicate the source or cite the source. Ako i-highlight gapon. Okay, and masyado siguro after this COVID-19 pandemic, you will indicate that the challenge in studies, challenge, ibutang ninyo challenge. Because of the pandemic, the shift of the transition of studies from face-to-face to online teaching or online instruction became very difficult for the students. And it became a challenge for them and becomes a challenge for them in handling or having discipline and good study habit. So, ana siya. More bitag, tungod ana, kuan shifting, to sa shift of educational framework, the students became very challenged in handling or managing their time well. So, challenge of, okay, ito na today, second paragraph will be why why studies, time management na lang. Why time management among students, why time management among students is hard in the mid of pandemic. Okay. So kindly look for a source na pod. Kindly add a source here. Look for a source. Butan ako look for a source. Look for a source to support this. May nga na ba din mo example? Okay, example Simbo 2022 stated that 200,000 students are struggling in their studies because of a lack of due to multiple tasks at home, lack of focus because of household chores. May ano bitaw? Kindly look for researches that will talk about challenges and then kindly cite the author. Next, I had a demo. The reason why the researchers chose this topic is to help Wala na ning hour ha to help the students. The students ani siya. Kindly specify the students. Third year education, TEP. Okay, kindly indicate a year level. I will have year level. Wala ko gyapon ni siya ha. Are you taking down notes? Okay. Now let's proceed. Good learning. Okay, good learning habits give you time to focus on what you care about. Being productive is also quite addictive, so the more you practice, the more you want to get things done. Okay, you have here, mas maayo siguro niya siya, uh, you're going to have this one in your cut na to siya, transfer to the second paragraph. Second paragraph ni siya ha. Ako i-highlight para makita ninyo. Highlight in red. And then, kindly cite the source. Asa ninyo gikuha? Kinsay nagstorya ani? Okay. Okay, that's the importance of research. In research, we are not allowed to give our opinion unless you are talking about the result. But in this claim, you're not allowed to give your own unless you're going to give your purpose of or the objective why you are conducting this study. Okay, so a descriptive survey design was adopted for this research and a multi-stage sampling technique procedure was employed to draw total sample of respondents. Okay, by the way, you're not in this kind of research, we will not have survey. So since we are qualitative money ang design thinking, it's not survey but a qualitative. So when you say qualitative research, you will just have 7 to 15 persons as your respondents. But in your case, you have 200 respondents, so dili ni siya pwede. Okay, I will just give you the point of view of design thinking. It's like a documentary. Have you seen the note, sa di na siya? Karang salida, program ni dili Davila, kaya ba tawag murag, The Notebook, ba na siya ang title? You are just interviewing some people related to your topic. You're interviewing them. This is a kind of in-depth interview. Compared to descriptive survey, you will just ask your participants na mag-check lang sa papel. Answer. But in this qualitative research, you will interview the people who are having that kind of problem. So example, so in your case, your prospect respondents, example ha, third year education students or third year uh, elementary education students. So example sila inyong respondents. Among 150 ka DE-Ed students, magkuha lang mo mga 7 to 10 mga students for your interview. So what will you do in your qualitative research? You will just jot down their answers based on your 5 questions that you have provided. Then afterwards, you're going to gather the responses and group it according to different themes. So in the qualitative research, um, you will only have few respondents. So this is not descriptive, ha? So it's a qualitative research design. Qualitative na siya. Okay, a qualitative design was adopted. By the way, do not use the term was because this is just a proposal, so you will make the term will. Mga future tense ni siya if you are writing a proposal. So a qualitative research design will be conducted or will be employed for this study. And a multi-stage sampling technique, so dili na ni siya, will be employed in this study. Qualitative and purposive sampling. When you say purposive sampling, you will just handpick your respondents will be used in selecting your participants. Okay. The research revealed that the cause of ano siya, research revealed, wala pa man mo nag-conduct sa research. So you're not allowed to have that claim. So future tense pa man, you're just proposing what are your initial parts of your research. So you don't have any proof or you don't have any claims yet. Okay, apart from that, kindly indicate here what will you do to get to know the problem of your respondents or participants. So you're going to indicate here in your empathy part. So you're going to indicate in the empathy part the the steps. Example, you will have the researcher, this research intends to know or to determine. Okay, this research intends to determine the causes of lack of management's lack of good study habit. So in this part, in the empathy part, you will ask your some of your respondents, example 5 lang kabuok, you will ask them what are the causes of poor studies, poor study habit or lack of study habit. So you will ask them about the reasons why. So causes lang sa inuubutang dire. So that for you will know what are the reasons behind. So when you say empathize, it's a quality wherein you need to feel or understand the problem of your respondents. Imo silang paminawon. So you will have an initial interview. Okay, of this. So you will indicate here the process how you will have the empathy part. So there will be an initial interview for 5 students to determine to know their problem. Okay, simulan niyo siya. Okay. So now you're done with your empathy part. Now let's go to the define. Okay. By the way, how are you going to know the problems of your respondents? You will ask them, example, 2 questions you may ask, and then kindly indicate the responses here if nag-indicate mo. But if not, so wala. So ang uban researchers they are placing screenshots of their convo, ang uban screenshots during their interview. Then i-post nila diri sa empathize na part. Now let's have the define part. So this is the define part is the defining part of your empathy. Kung unsa tay mo nakuha nga interview, nga responses sa imong respondent sa interview, you're going to define it here in this part. So again, your problem is about study habit, poor study habit, or lack of study habit among students. In the define part, you're going to discuss what are the responses of the respondents. Example, the problem to be addressed in the study is the lack of self-discipline towards study habit of grade 6 lagi ninyo ha. Okay. By the way, class, as karon dili pa mo pwede magkuan ha, magawas inyo research. So within the school lang sa atong research. Yes, select students na lang sa inyong department. So you're not allowed to go out manggod. Even the other students in the BSBA and IT. So they're having their researches or the participants of their study will be just in the campus. Although will dili mo mag-implement man. But I will just clarify that your respondents or participants will be within NBSC. So butang ninyong year level diri ha. So, year level of students. Okay. Puhon magkamay mag-research so kabalo namon sa isulod dayon. Okay, but by the way, this format is different from the typical research. This is an example of a case study na research. So the problem to be addressed in the study is the lack of self-discipline towards study habit, towards discipline. Kung siguro uh, lack of time management. Sa pa yung focus ani? Okay, lack of time management, self-discipline. Dapat uniform mo, although it has the same thought, but you need to focus in statement time management or self-discipline yung gamiton. So I will just enclose here red, highlighted it with red para magsabot mo sa yung gamiton, time management or study habit. I mean, discipline. Okay, here, in the defined part, you're going to discuss some lines of your participants. Example, mga kung ano siya ha, mga reasons, can indicate the reasons of poor study habit or lack of study habit. Add, pero sa inyo wala man mo no, wala man mo nag-interview, so add literatures ni siya. And um, and the results, sorry, the effects siguro. And the effect of, so example, one paragraph for poor reasons, another paragraph for the effect. Ibulay na nato siya. Add literatures or sources na lang. Sources. Add sources. So here, effect. So may effect. Poor ang study habit sa student. So effect ani. Effect of poor study habit. So source na pod. And then here in the third paragraph, possible solution. Dili na lang din. Kesa ko ano na siya. Okay. Okay, namin din mo diri. The factors affecting the study habits of students were listed as self-efficacy levels in relation to the content to be learned, motivation, parent support, and class socializing of the students. And there is a increasingly high failure of students in external examinations. Okay, my question, asa ninyo nakuha of source? Okay, we have Creed Conceal 2008. Okay ni siya. Similarly, Pitan 2013. Okay na po me. Okay, but my comment is, when you're going to have a source, kindly look for 6 years backwards. So since we are 2022, so 2021, 2019, 18, 17, 16, 15. 16 up. Researchers 2015 or 2016 up. Okay. Accordingly, some researchers are already outdated. It means there are further studies related to the topic. So kindly use the current. Okay, di ba? Research is somewhat like changeable. So the data yesterday or the data 20 years ago or the research 20 years ago is not the same with the current. So there are more discoveries man good. So that's the reason we are encouraged to use references 2016 and onwards. Yeah, highlight na ko ni siya. Okay, sige na lang. Malway mo ko sa inyo. So, pagbigyan ta mo ha, 2,000, sige, masagot na lang sa ako ano ninyo resources. But in reality, ideally, it's 2016 onwards. Okay na ba na? Okay. Sige. Now, let's proceed with the ideate part. By the way, class, before you indicate here the ideate, kindly indicate an introductory paragraph. So this research aims to address the problem about sa matulak of discipline, sa habit, sa inyo. About, example, poor, okay lang highlight ha, poor study habit. Among, example, third year education, third year elementary students. I-complete niyo B.Ed, example B.Ed, i-complete ha, spell out. Ano ba, B.Ed or Big D? Big D ba siya, Kurita? Wala siya, i-record ha. Highlight with red. Big D ang kuan or small E ni siya tapos big D. Sa man na? Ano? Or ano? Ano ba? Okay, sige. Capital ka na. So this research aims to address a problem about poor study habit among third year B.Ed students in school year 2023, 2022, 2023. Okay. So the following are the suggested, are the proposed solutions. Okay. By the way, in this ideate part, di ba you have already determined your problem. In the ideate part, you're going to propose probable solution, mga posibleng nga solusyon. So example, mga tulo ka buok inyong propose. Sa tulo ka buok ka propose inyo sa inyong problem, di ba kay inyong problem kay poor study habit. So namo isa ka webinar inyong isa ka solusyon. Another possible solution is daily task record. Third is about webinar magyapon niyo. Execute webinar magyapon ni isa. So in short, duha ra inyong proposed solution dire. Daily task, home record, and webinar. Kadiri naman yung webinar ng isa. Okay, time management, webinar. So these are your two proposed solutions. So among this, asa man ninyo nga ani? Select one as your prototype. When you say prototype, mo na ninyo ang piliyon nga solusyon. Hmm. Okay, so dapat inyong diri daily task lang na siya. Daily task record. Okay, time management webinar din isa. So, you have selected daily task record. Explain unsa ni siya, unsa ni siya. By the way, kindly add how this one will be conducted. Explain how this solution. Oo, pakita niyo example. Example, daily task record sample. Pero dili na